Hello, 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 hello. It's time for video number 34. We're getting down to the last handful of videos here. Point number 34, we'll get right into it. The main purpose for lawyers is the manufacturing of controversy. Controversy definition from Black's Law 4th edition is a litigated question, adversary proceeding in a court of law, a civil action or suit, either at law or in equity, a justiciable dispute, right? So justiciable controversy from Black's Law 4th edition means a controversy in which a claim of right is asserted against one who has an interest in contesting it. Okay? So the whole point of this particular point number 34, in relation to breaking contracts and defending yourself and becoming a state national, it has to do with the only way that you can ever get forced into a courtroom is through a dispute. Now, lawyers are basically pretty much all fucked, sadly, right? Even if you think you found a decent one, I'm sorry. Chances are you didn't. I think there's only one or two professions, if you want to call it that, in the whole Bible that Jesus literally specifically talks about that, like, you should be careful about and stay away from. The main one he talks about is lawyers. Lawyers are fucked. Oh, by the way, I think it's in here. Let's see. Just as a little side note, let's see here. Well, let's go back. There's one thing I wanted to show you guys, if I can find it. Fuck. Well, there's a definition that I found at one point in time in the past where the definition of attorney Well, I don't know. I could have sworn I put it in here. Sometimes I lose track of shit a little bit. So I found a definition one time of attorney, and I'm sorry, I don't know where it was, and I don't know where I put it, but it's attorney. It means to turn away from God. That's literally what attorney means, or to turn away from God's law, right? And I believe the definition, yeah. So definition of the word legal from 1893 Dictionary of Arts and Sciences, Encyclopedia Britannica, a dictionary of arts, sciences, and general literature, is the undoing of God's law, which means common law. So the definition of legal is the perverting and undoing of God's law. So the definition of attorney means to turn away from God or pervert the will of God or pervert common law, which is what they're doing all the time. So attorney literally means to turn away from God, to pervert the will of God, to complexify the will of, Just that whole idea is attorney. Okay. So what these people do, and I'm sure not every attorney is terrible. Don't get me wrong. But pretty much horrible, right? So a controversy. So justiciable controversy means that what they do is, in order to create money for themselves, they have to create disputes. Without disputes, they can't make any money. So a conditional acceptance, there's no money to be made in a conditional acceptance, because a conditional acceptance, there's no dispute. So you can't wind up in a courtroom or anything like that. So what they try to do is they try to claim a right against something of which they're hoping the other person will contest. So if they do something or create some sort of controversy with you involving, let's say that you owe $100,000, they're hoping that you contest it, not conditionally accept it. That's the last thing they want you to do. They want you to contest it, because then when you contest it, now you have a justiciable controversy. And that's going back to what I was telling you about before with honor and dishonor, right? Which we're going to get into a little bit here as well. So if the lawyer does not create controversy, then there's no way to create court cases. Court cases mean they are making money, right? Definition number 2 of justiciable controversy is a question as may properly come before a tribunal for a decision, right? Now, again, they have to have jurisdiction. If they don't have jurisdiction, they have no right to create or to determine a decision. So again, jurisdiction means everything. Everything, okay? This is exactly why bills, such as IRS bills, come off so hostile and upsetting, and they just create these numbers out of thin air. They are hoping to God that their bill is violently rejected, which puts the bill into dishonor. The dishonor definition from Black's Law 4th edition is in mercantile law and usage: to refuse or decline to accept a bill of exchange, or to refuse or neglect to pay a bill or note at maturity. Okay? And I guess one thing we can go into is, what is a bill of exchange? God damn it. Can never be easy, Mr. Black's Law. Always got to be difficult. You've always got to make me work. Black's Law, what would I do without you, baby? Black's Law, I'm going to file a marriage certificate with you, 'cause I just want to marry you. Oh, Black's Law, I just want to marry you. Oh, Black's Law, I'm just going to marry you. Oh, Black's Law, I'm just going to marry you. Black's Law, I'm just going to marry you. I just want to marry the Black's Law. Just want to marry the Black's Law. I just want to marry the Black's Law. Just want to marry the Black's Law. I just want to marry the Black's Law. Bill of exchange. God damn it. I passed it. Twice. I just wanna marry the Black's Law. I just wanna marry the Black's Law. Ooh, bill of a former declaration, complaint, or statement of particular things in writing. Wow. Well, one thing I can say is the definition of bill. Like I said earlier, they use the word statement instead. But if they did use the word bill, when they sent you anything, a bill, it means the same thing as a statement. See, statement, a formal declaration, complaint, or statement. Okay, there we go. A written order from A to B directing B to pay C a certain sum of money. So a bill of exchange. So some particular entity or person directing that a third person needs to pay something. So like I guess it's a type of check, I guess. A check is kind of the same thing. So a type of check, I guess. To refuse or decline to accept a bill of exchange, or to refuse or neglect to pay a bill or note at maturity. That's dishonor, okay? Because there's dishonor, there's no grounds for a court case, because there's now a controversy. So how do you handle this? Realize that everything said and done by all legal people, which is all people who are trying to pervert God's law and turn you away from God, which means essentially trust law. It's flipping the trust as well. To turn someone away from God means to flip the trust. It's all the same terminology, right? It's done on purpose to upset you and get a loud and massive reaction of whatever it is that they send you. This is how they usher you into a courtroom. So what's the solution? A conditional acceptance. The conditional acceptance prevents the manufacturing of dishonor and controversy and prevents legal professionals, from gaining any traction. The conditional acceptance is basically a very kind way of saying, I accept your offer fully. There is no dishonor here. All I need is a handful of things, such as proof of consideration, that this is a valid contract, proof that of it being a valid contract, validation of the debt that you're saying that I owe, etc. You want to make it nearly impossible for them to do whatever it is your conditions are for accepting. If you can do that, then you can stop all legal professionals. They're basically like thieves with briefcases and suits, literally, right? So without controversy, they can never move the ball farther forward down the field. Once they know that you know how to stop their motion, they will just immediately, instantaneously give up. If they don't see any money in it, or if they can't see the thing moving toward money, or if they see that it's going to be once they see that you know all this shit, they just disappear real fucking fast, man. They want easy sex and a lot of it. So if it's going to be tough, and they see that you're, it's no different than being armed. If someone tries to rob you and you just flash your handgun and they're, oh shit, never mind, dude. Nice, you're a handsome guy, man. Good to see you. See you later. You hear about that a lot when someone's going to get robbed. It's the same thing. It's like they just want easy money, easy robbery. If they can't get it, then they're pussy ass little bitches and they just run off. Okay, so. There is a huge secret to the defensive end of being a state national. Your defense is disarming your opponent. Their main weapon is controversy, okay? Never give them any leverage, which means never give them any controversy. Smile happily and conditionally accept all offers. The more I do this, actually, the more I realize that you can actually conditionally accept everything in life and live a much better life. Well, now that we're this far into the course, realize that at the beginning of the course and throughout the entire course, when I keep telling you, I'd love your messages if they contain some asinine amount of money, $40,000 for a passport and all this kind of stuff. That actually is, I didn't explain it to you earlier. I wanted it to be saved for the people who actually get to the end of the course here. That was me applying conditional acceptance inside the course. I didn't tell you, don't contact me, because that would be dishonor in a way, right? I said I conditionally accepted all offers of people who need help and who have confusions and who need my help to get through their passports. If people are like, oh, I would never shovel shit out of a fucking septic tank, would you do it for $180,000 for 3 days of work? Oh, of course, oh, totally. Oh God, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now in my Armani shoes. See? So it's the same idea. It's you could conditionally accept everything. I mean, to the point where it's like, really, to some degree, it's like, would you sleep with some, horrifically fat, disgusting old man for $15 million cash? You know what I mean? It's like, how far does this idea really go? You know what I mean? And that's kind of for you to decide for yourself. You know what I mean? But anyways, the more I do this, the more I realize that you can actually conditionally accept everything in life and live a much better life. People hate rejecting others, and they hate the reactions that people have. So why not conditionally accept? Ask on a date, but you really don't want to, conditionally accept and make it nearly impossible for them to do it. Women do this kind of stuff all the time without them really totally realizing it. Offer jobs you don't want to do, conditionally accept them, where the client has to do a bunch of stuff and pay outrageous fees only a crazy person would accept. I do this all the time for my clients, all the time, right? The problem with this approach is obviously that people might accept. So just be sure 100% that you are ready for that. For example, would I sell my car for something insane like $200,000? Sure, I probably would, even though I always tell people that my car is not for sale, okay? Almost anything can be conditionally accepted, and it puts other people at ease because you allow them to be in control or think they are in control of the decision and situation. I've had so many people reach out to me, oh, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? It's like, oh, yeah, totally. For like $20,000, let's get started tomorrow. Oh, well, yeah, let me get back to you on that. And they just disappear, right? It's a beautiful way to reject people. I mean, even with women, if you're a woman and you're trying to, you could say, some guys like, hey, now that I think about it, I think women do this a lot. A guy's like, hey, let's go out. And you just be like, look, I'm looking to have kids and get married like tomorrow. Oh, boy, I'm busy. You could conditionally accept anything. And women sort of naturally do this as a tool of their gender, and it's quite a beautiful thing to see how women often apply this with such finesse and precision. It's actually a beautiful, beautiful thing. I mean, I love women, but I mean, boy, this is a very interesting aspect of feminine grace that I think a lot of people miss. So learn it well, and it will dramatically improve your life. Now, this is a couple of quotes from the Bible that are really, really interesting that match up with this entirely. Because again, all of this law stuff comes from the Bible. So this whole honor dishonor thing comes from the Bible. So here's a couple quotes that explain to you why it's like this. Agree with thine adversary quickly. Whole thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee unto the judge, and the judge deliver thee unto officer, and thou be cast into prison. That's from Matthew 5:25. What Jesus is saying there is agree with your enemies and be artful in the way in which you interact with them. Otherwise, your enemies will deliver you to the judge, and the judge will deliver you to the officer, and the officer will cast you into prison. Okay. Another quote from Matthew 10:16. Jesus says, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. I mean, that one makes my hair stand up. It's so powerful. So what Jesus is saying there is he's saying, I send you forth into pretty overwhelming odds. You're not going to be able to take on your enemies head on necessarily, right? So be incredibly wise and extremely harmless. So he's also talking about the trustee beneficiary relationship, meaning you can be the trustee and you can benefit even the wolves. And that's what I talked about earlier in the earlier video about melting down a police officer's illusion and stuff like that. That's how you do it. Harmless as dove, wise as serpents. Okay. So that's the breakdown on video number 34. Only a few more to go. So let's do it. I'll see you guys at video number 35.